I'm James, and today's review is of JB Wargaming's 15mm adobe buildings and telegraph poles. Now the buildings are pack B. I've seen other packs as well. Now I'll put a link in the description to John's web store on eBay, and also to his Facebook page, in case anybody wants to purchase them. If you do decide you're going to purchase them, if you let him know where you saw the review, you never know, he might send me some free stuff to review. I do have some of his other stuff to review, and I'll be building them up and looking at them in the near future. Now the pack itself is more than you actually get on the table here. I've got 10 buildings on there. There are 11 in the pack. They are quite different. We'll look at them in a bit more depth in a second. The telegraph poles come in a pack of 16. Now, John was really good with these. I've built probably twice as many as this, and if you do a quick count, you'll see that's quite a few. And I've built at the minute probably only half the pack. He did say that they are quite fragile, and some did come through as damaged, but they were really well packed, and the fact he sent me far more than the 16 I should have had, I'm very impressed by that level of customer service. There was also a snag where one of the pieces was missing off one of the buildings, one of the internal support walls, and he fixed that immediately. I had another order with him, and he sent it straight out with that. So 10 out of 10 for customer service, John. Thanks for that. So let's have a look at the buildings themselves. This is how they come. Now, basically 4 walls, 2 internal pieces, and a roof. Nice and simple. One thing to watch for is they are keyed, and it's not particularly obvious, but if you look at the connectors, you'll see the gaps are different. Each building has a slightly different gap. If you match up the window types first and then the keys, you're sorted. Basically, even I got it right, and that sums it up, I think. They go together really well with PVA. I had no problems with that. It's the first PVA buildings I've really done anything with, so I was quite impressed how easily they went together. Little tip that I picked up from reading online was to paint them with watered down PVA first. I found that worked really well, and it gave a better surface for the paint to adhere to. As well as the buildings, there are 4 sets of walls. Now these are good for extending the buildings. What I've done is I put a completed small one at the back there, and you can see a tall one ready to be assembled. Same principle, and in the pack you get 2 of the large ones and 2 of the small ones, and there you can see the large ones. Now a little tip I've found with assembling and painting these is using inks rather than paints for the doors. Give them a really battered and worn appearance. I think that was a useful little tip I picked up. Now the telegraph poles, you can see they're pretty simple. All I've done with them is basically base them as I normally would. The base is integral. You glue it on, so it's integral to the model itself. I've just added a bit of sand onto that, and then I've literally just dry brushed the crossbars. I haven't even painted the main poles, and at gaming distances they look absolutely fine. So let's actually have a look at some of the buildings. I quite like these ones that have got the red brick around the bottom. That was just a nice little touch that I found just added to the building. Now I did actually upgrade some of the buildings, did a few modifications, bit of graffiti. USA go home. I have this hideous urge to do an entire square covered in it, getting more and more grammatically correct. If anybody actually knows of a terrorist or revolutionary figure with a paintbrush and paint pot, please let me know. I would definitely buy that, and I think it would be a lovely thing to use, and he would get nicknamed Brian, I'm afraid. On the building on the right, for those who play Battle Space, you may recognise that. It's Al Wahid in Arabic, which is the name of the group in the game. Those were quick, simple things to do. The next one, I actually went a bit further. This was me having a bit of fun. I watched a few films for inspiration, and I realised the roofs looked a bit bare, so I thought I'll modify one of them at least. And all I did was cut down some cocktail sticks, glued them to the end, some wire connecting them, and then a dried out baby cleaning wipe cut down and a bit of paint applied to it. Quick and simple, and it just adds a bit of character, makes it look quite cute. Similar technique as well on some of the fronts of the buildings. I've just put a little bit of a shade up. I'm still finding a way to get the baby wipe to be the way I want it to. The best effect I got was using a felt tip pen. It looks a bit ropey close up, but at gaming distances it looks absolutely fine. And again, a couple of cocktail sticks and a bit of card. That was all that took, a couple of minutes. There's some nice detailing on the buildings. Some of the buildings have the brickwork exposed. I quite like that. That's a nice touch. You can see a couple of examples there, and one of them as well has actually got a few, it's a foliage or something I suppose on the walls. That was actually accidental when I got a bit of green ink on it when I was doing the shutters above, but actually I'm quite happy with that. I think that actually gave a nice look. So plenty of space on the roof for putting elements on. You can make the roofs removable. Mine technically are, but to get them off you'd be lifting the building up anyway, so I'm not going to worry too much with that. You can see you can get some nice little effects. One pack has already given me a full village. I've already got a second pack on order. They're quite reasonably priced. I paid $13.99 buying it, buying the village, and then another £5 for the telegraph poles. If you're bidding on eBay, you can get them slightly cheaper. I've actually won one at £10 for second pack of second village, which I'm going to be using and basically covering the entire table in it as I get done. So that's what you get. Summing it up, as far as I was concerned, it was quick and simple to put together. I mean, bearing in mind that's even not the full set. I've still got another building and 2 sets of compound walls to go on. Price wise, you can't beat it. That is enough terrain for something like battle space or force on force for your entire tabletop. If you get a second one, you can be a bit more ambitious. It's the typical Wargamers megalomania coming in. The buildings look different. You've got shuttered windows, you've got arched windows, you've got windows with a lintel above. They're really nicely varied. Some of them look a bit more high status. The ones with the brickwork seem to for me. That's why I've given them the courtyards in this one. Like I say, a bit more work on this. I'm going to put some more washing up on some of the roofs. Get some cheap little cars to put around the place. I've ordered some market stalls from elsewhere, and I've got a mosque on order, so I think I'm going to get quite an interesting little village by the time I finish. Hopefully you found that useful, and if you have, keep an eye on the channel for further reviews, and I'll see you soon for some more.